May we request everybody to please take the seat as we begin the program. To please take the front seats. Thank you. Is it an illusion or an imagination? Will it come? Won't it come? Or will I be when it comes? No one really has answers for these questions or thoughts, but these thoughts really help us and give some ideas, a ray of hope. A hope that drives us to work harder towards making our dreams a reality.
The hope and the belief of two great leaders and visionaries to create a network of HR professionals to enable learning from each other, to contribute to organizations, to society, by making them a little better than what they were earlier. That gave birth to National HRD Network. The visionaries were none other than our very own Dr. T.V. Rao and Father Abraham. The dream was dreamt in 1985, and today it's 25 years from when that was dreamt. It's a reality.
The first seeds of the dreams were laid in Bangalore with the hope and the confidence that it will be nurtured to grow as a healthy tree. Mr. K.S. Rao, the first president, with his sheer perseverance, enthused to bring in young HR professionals into the National HRD Network and gave a rock-solid foundation to the chapter.
This legacy of making the chapter vibrant and values-based was continued by subsequent presidents, office bearers, and executive committee members who selflessly gave their precious time. And today, on this 25th year, or Silver Jubilee celebration, this organization stands proud and tall.
Is proud to have the huge member base which is benefiting with the association with NHRD. It stands tall with all the achievements that it has received so far.
With success comes responsibility. It's now our responsibility to take it to greater heights in the years to come.
With this note, we welcome our esteemed guests, the members, the family members who are the integral part of the community, and the entire August gathering to this special evening, Total Recall, 25 glorious years of NHRD Bangalore.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, friends. A little louder. Good evening, friends. कुछ सुनाई दे रहा है? नहीं, मेरे को नहीं. Good evening, friends. Okay, that was heard. Good evening, friends, once again. I am Siddharth. I work in Cloud9. My co-host, Prakriti Shetty from Schneider Electric, will be the MCs for the evening and will together take you through this journey. May I now request all of us to please stand as we play the national anthem.
Jaya He
be seated. Let's walk through the memory lane with our past presidents and other office bearers. We invite some of our past presidents who've been able to make it today onto the dais. Moderating the discussion would be Mr. Manoj Biswas from CHRO from Accenture. Sir, may I request you to please come to the dais. The first president who's with us is Dr. Pallab Bandyopadhyay, who contributed immensely with a research-based approach to innovating and introducing multiple new programs, events, and initiatives. Sir, welcome to the dais. May I request the audience to put your hands together to welcome them. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Ahmed Ali, who's been able to make it today, who brought to life the HR Professionals Day on every 25th Jan. Sir, welcome. May I now request Mr. Ramesh Ranjan, Director from Schneider Electric, who was the secretary between 2000 and 2002, to kindly join the panel discussion. Can we have a slightly louder round of applause, please? Thank you so much. Mr. Manoj, over to you.
Request Mr. Gopinath, who has been the Chief Election Commissioner of NHRD, and under his leadership, he conducted 5 elections in the last 10 years.
We typically have one executive committee that gets elected every 2 years. And here is our very own Chief Election Commissioner. Can we have another round of applause for him, please? Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Manoj.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very, very warm welcome on behalf of the Bangalore chapter of NHRD. What a momentous occasion. 25 years, 25 glorious years as we walk down the memory lane with some stalwarts who have joined us here. So let me ask this and start this with a very, the warm-up round, while I think all of you walked here for the benefit of those who probably did not walk all these years with you together. Why don't we go around and do a quick round of introduction? Let's start with Pallab.
Hi. To talk about myself, okay, I have about 30 years corporate experience and about 1 year consulting experience. My last job was, I headed HR for, my last job was head of HR for Citrix. Before that, I headed HR function for Dell Services, Pero Systems, Cambridge Solutions, Sasken Communication Technologies, Ashok Leyland. So, and after 30 years, the beginning of the year, I am working on my own as a consulting, as a professor. I teach organizational behavior in a number of business schools, and also a PhD guide to number of students in the Faculty of Management.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Ramesh Ranjan. I currently work for Schneider Electric. I was the secretary for Bangalore chapter 2000-2002, and in fact, I succeeded Ahmed Ali's team, and we were part of that particular team, the glorious period, I feel, of NHRD Bangalore chapter. Nice to be here.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Good evening, friends. I'm Gopinath. I was also in the committee of NHRD when Dr. Rupande was the president. Subsequently, I was to take over as secretary, but since I was active in NIPM, I requested one Chandramouli, I don't know whether Mouli is here, who assisted Ahmed Ali as the secretary. Am I right? Yes, so I have worked in manufacturing units, mainly old economy industries, starting from Davangere Cotton Mill to Deccan Herald for about 15 years, and last 24 years, I am into consultancy. Main focus is on industrial relations, and I am the past chairman and fellow of NIPM, Karnataka chapter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Of course, you all know my name by now, since announced. Ahmed Ali is my name. I, like Palab, more than Palab, I've worked for about 33 years in corporate life. My last job was as the regional HR head of GlaxoSmithKline. That was out of Singapore. And so I moved to Bangalore in mid-93 to join SmithKline Beecham. And in 99, I think 98 or 99, now Chandramouli is here, he would probably be correct. You know, I became the president of NHRD chapter. Not very much by choice, but I think it was because Rupandi came and talked to me, and Devre came and talked to me, because I was also quite actively involved with the Bangalore Chamber of Industries and Commerce. Well, we'll talk about what we did during that time, but I had a very interesting time as the president of NHRD Bangalore chapter.
Thank you. So I think we'll start walking down the memory lane. And I think I couldn't resist asking this question to you, Mr. Gopinath. So as the chief, our very own chief election commissioner of NHRD, you have, I understand, conducted the last 5 successful elections over the last 10 years. And you would have seen, you know, different subset of teams who've come in and who have contributed. What has been your experience as you look back? How has it changed, or how is it not changed?
Of course, I have seen NHRD from the day one, more or less, because Devre was also on MG Road when I was working for Deccan Herald. So in fact, my membership number is 003. In that way, I'm sure most of you will agree with me. I'm the beginner of NHRD. Then, you know, he used to invite me for evening lecture meetings and all that. We hardly used to be 8 to 10 people to begin with. And committee meetings, when I was in the committee, we used to meet in Rupande's residence on 12th Cross Wilson Garden. Door number only I've forgotten. So she used to prepare tea for all of us and give us some biscuits. Those were the days, you know. And of course, recently only this democratic process of elections have begun. Probably last 10, 12 years, I'm the returning officer. When I was the chairman of NIPM, I became very close to NHRD because of my mentor, D.R. Nagaraj. 2001, 2002, I was the chairman of NIPM, and he was the president of NHRD Bangalore. Since then, you know, I am associated with them, and each, you know, biennial elections, you know, it is totally a democratic process, I can tell you. Totally transparent. Probably they look at people who can contribute to the growth of the association, and also add a lot of value to the members. That is very, very important. And chairmanship normally, you know, I think they have a search committee. And of course, as Ahmed Ali said, you know, we literally, you know, force somebody, no, please take the leadership. It'll, you know, come to, so that is how, you know, Nagaraj started the leadership in a very vibrant mode, and subsequently it went on. So in that way, you know, sometimes, you know, of course, Dr. Gopal is here. When Bombay, when Gopal was winding up his chairmanship, you know, I was a returning officer, and there were few rejections on whom, you know, Gopal was very keen they should occupy the positions in the committee. But due to technical reasons, it happens, because we strictly follow the bylaws, friends, even NIPM also. So I rejected those nominations, and he was very much upset. What is this, Gopi? How can it happen? And all that. I said, please don't mistake. It is a democratic process, and you have to take it in right perspective. And subsequently, he realized, yes, I think what he says is right. And then we inducted somebody else. Subsequently, 1 or 2 of them who had contested, who are not, you know, valid nominations, they were co-opted. So in that way, you know, probably we talk about corporate governance in a big way, but NHRD silently follows this corporate governance. Transparent approach, democratic process, selection of right leaders. That is how, you know, I'm sure, consecutive second year we have received the best chapter award. In fact, it's a pride moment for all of us, friends. So in that way, I wish NHRD, because I'm also a part of NHRD, to continue and achieve greater heights, so that, you know, a value addition to, especially Gen Y, most of the, you know, the young HR people, they should, you know, come up and take the leadership of NHRD, NIPM, ISTD, or whatever is the, you know, forum here. So I'm sure, you know, most of the youngsters who are here today will come forward. People like Nag Siddharth, Prakriti Shetty and others. I wish NHRD all the best, friends. Thank you.
Thank you. So, you talked about Gen Y and induction of Gen Y into NHRD. Who can forget? So I think I would now move to Dr. Pallab and say, you started this initiative called Triads. So why don't you tell us your early memories or your early recollections of how did you come up with that?
As I said, that I came into NHRD primarily along with Mr. Ahmed Ali. I was his executive committee member, and Ahmed Ali and Chandramouli was the secretary. And then subsequently, I became a vice president with D.R. Nagaraj. And then D.R. Nagaraj moved, then Vidyasagar came. So I'm talking because I have been fortunate to work with such people, stalwarts in the real sense. What I could learn a lot of things from them. And then from Vidyasagar, I took over the mantle. And then, of course, I passed on the mantle to Gopal Mahapatra. And so when I took over, one of the things, as we were always, I still remember I started with one, open workshop sort of thing, and possibly that was the first thing we did. We went to the members, we called all the members, and that interaction was, facilitated by Balaji, Professor Balaji, and we did an open house kind of thing. We called all the members, and we asked, what do you expect? I said, the best thing to start is to, ask the members. And I think it was a very good thing because, I always believed that this is what we should do. And one of the suggestions obviously came, and interestingly, there were a lot of Gen Y members, but then they said, what are you doing for them? It looks like it has become a forum for professionals, matured professionals, and that's what we seem to kind of cater to. But what do you do? So that was one kind of thing. It was in my mind.